Inquilitors, welcome back to my channel, or just plain welcome if you're new. My name is Victoria, and today I'm going to be talking about books I treasure. You'll have to forgive my voice, I'm suffering a bit of a cold, so I sound like a heavy smoker, but I promise I don't smoke because it's bad for your lungs. So you know that question people ask sometimes, if your house was burning down, what item would you grab, or what item would you save? Today I'm applying that question to books in particular. So, if my bookshelf was on fire, which books would I grab? And so this is not necessarily which stories are my favorite, because I have many favorites, as you guys know, Throne of Glass being among them, but rather this is actual books themselves that I have in my collection that I would save first if my bookshelf was on fire. So, number 1, Alanna the First Adventure. So if you guys don't know, this is a children's / YA. I'm not really sure what the age is intended for, because in the first one she's just a kid, I think she's 10 or 11 or something, but the series progresses and she grows into her teens and, you know, has sex and stuff, so that seems to be more YA than children's. So this is a series that I loved as I was a kid. It follows Alanna, who is a noble lady, noble girl, who decides that she wants to be a knight. So her and her twin brother switch places. He goes off to study magic and she goes undercover as a boy to become a knight. So I first read this book when I was, I don't even know, maybe like 9, and adored it. I adore all of Tamora Pierce's books. If you haven't read them, seriously, you have to. They're so good and so inspirational and so just, everything is wonderful. But this is not actually my original copy. This is my original copy. The original cover, you can see, was a lot more cheesy, and this book is a lot worse for wear. But the reason I would actually save this one over this one is because this is a signed copy. It's not actually signed to me, it's to my friend Kelsey, because she actually met her, but Kelsey gave me this book for my birthday because I love it so much, and Kelsey was kind of meh about it. So yeah, it's not actually dedicated to me, but it's signed by Tamora Pierce, and it has the little caption, "Be Legendary," which I think is lovely. So I would definitely save this. The next book on my list is City of Bones. For most readers, there's that first book or first series they read that gives them a sense of belonging, and more than just liking the story or the characters, but they feel like they belong there, like there's a sense of family about it. So I feel like for most people, Harry Potter is that series, and I definitely love Harry Potter, but I didn't actually read those until I was 14 or 15. So for me, City of Bones / The Mortal Instruments was that series. I read obviously tons of books before that, but The Mortal Instruments was that first series when I was like, this just feels like home, I belong, I found my people. I think partially because of all of the hilarious humor and stuff. That's why this book is on the list. As you can see, it's a little worse for wear as well. Actually, the first like 30 pages have just come out, so basically it's like this, and then I read the first 30 pages and then I just take them out. This is quite remarkable because I am someone that is so kind to books. Like, I do not hurt them. I read them super fast so that they can't be injured, and I keep them on my shelf. I don't fold the pages. People write in them. It hurts me physically. So you can tell how much I've loved this book because of how trashed it is. The amount of times I've carried it places and read it over and over and over. The next book on my list is The Cry of the Icemark, another one that is quite worn down. I think I've mentioned this one before on this channel. Yeah, I read this again when I was around 10. This is a children's fantasy story that follows Theron, who, after her father dies, she becomes Queen of the Icemark, which is a tiny nation of magic that's being attacked by the Polypuncheon Empire, which is this giant kind of Romanesque empire that values progress and hates all things mysterious. So they're trying to wipe the Icemark off the face of the earth, and then Theron ends up allying with like vampires and werewolves and talking snow leopards. So basically it's like magic versus science, and then it has some really interesting themes about how maybe they shouldn't be in opposition, and anyway, it's really good, fun adventure story. Talking snow leopards, who doesn't love it? The reason this is so important to me is because I was raised in a pretty conservative house, and, you know, we were taught certain things about, you know, needing to be in the kitchen and being mothers and blah blah blah, and not that anything about that is necessarily bad, but I think it's really unfair to say that that's a woman's whole purpose and that's the only thing she can be. So this book was actually given to my brother because, you know, fantasies for boys. He snuck it to me and was like, you're gonna love this book. So I read this in a time when I really needed inspiration or someone to understand me, and I really felt like Theron and I were the same, like a little bit feisty, kind of tomboys. We used to go jousting with our bikes and pool noodles, and like I just loved everything about sort of the Middle Ages and all the things that boys were supposed to like, and so having a strong female protagonist in that role was really inspiring to me. I have a more modern version that's less trash because I thought I lost this one actually, but this will always have a close place place in my heart. Read it so many times. The cover is actually like taped on because it fell off completely. So yeah, that's the third book that I would save. The last book that I would save, should my bookshelf mysteriously catch fire, would be The Complete Works of Shakespeare. Now, this book is seriously close to my heart. I've actually never read it all the way through. I mean, to read The Complete Works of Shakespeare would probably take a lot more time than I currently have available. But the reason that I love this book is because, as the story goes, this was given to my grandmother's grandma. Was that my great-great-grandma? So it's got a little date here, August 1920. After my grandpa passed away, my grandma was going through all her stuff and trying to decide what to do with it, and she found this book in her collection, and she knew how much that I loved reading, so she gave it to me. So this is basically a family heirloom in a book, and it has this inscription here that says, "To Sadie, with every sincere wish and my deepest gratitude for all your kindness to me, from Jack." I do love those other three that I mentioned purely because of the impact they had on my life, but this is probably the #1 book that I would save, because as much as the other ones, you know, I've had them for years and that copy is the copy I've treasured, they are replaceable. This is not replaceable. You can buy The Complete Works of Shakespeare, but there is no other copy that has been in my family for a century and that bears inscriptions from my ancestors. So this is truly just such a gift to own, and I love it. If my bookshelf were on fire, I would save this first. So yeah, those are my books that I would save should my bookshelf light itself on fire. I don't really know how that would happen, and I don't really use candles, so perhaps this whole video is completely irrelevant. But anyways, now you know which books I treasure most of all in my book collection. So let me know in the comments below which books you would save from your collection. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet. As usual, I adore you all, and I will see you next time. Bye!